Hello, everybody. Hello, Win. Hi, Mecha20 Res. Ravane, how are you all doing this fine Sunday, whatever current time of day it is for you? For me, mid early afternoonish. Um, yeah. Hey, Dan. It's hot though. Yeah, it's still pretty warm. I don't know if maybe that's why I'm feeling a little mellow today. I tend to feel like I don't like the heat. I don't like feeling warm. Um, but yeah, just to let everyone know, the reason today's stream is happening now, and we're doing Heaven's Vault, is I'm a little chill today. And
Crime.
so, cat crime. Um, thank you, Boring Depressed Introvert, for the cat crime. Um, so yeah, so I didn't really feel like playing one of the focus intensive platformers, and Little Nightmares feels like something I should play like late at night when it's all dark and scary and there's not the sound of cars going past every 20 seconds. And I kind of want to show people this game. Yeah, when I get the feeling when I feel like you'll probably quite enjoy the concept of this game. The reason I've not got it up yet is that the game doesn't have a start screen. It just kind of throws you right into the action. So, um, let's do that. Let's have a look at what's going on. And yeah, I just really wanted to show this game off to people because I feel like it's a really interesting one, but it doesn't get. I feel it hasn't had a huge amount of attention on it. So let's start to take a look, shall we? And hopefully, it will probably grab the game. This game is already like you. I I don't know quite what that means, but yes, it's a heist game. I'm good, thanks, Dan. Yeah, sorry, I also gave you a shout out, but I didn't say go follow Dan for some real fun, sort of Dark Souls type games and horror game streams, and just real chill times. Win also doesn't have an opening screen, so you know, I don't need to do this. Don't need to do what? Don't need to break into heaven? Aww. Aw, shucks. Then again, what are you heisting? Hiya, Tony. Welcome on in.
What we heisting?
What we heisting? You just got your stabby. Oh, hell yeah, Dan. Get that health. Get immunized against deadly diseases. Also, go follow Tony. I think most of you already do follow Tony anyway, but in case you don't, go follow Tony for some amazingly chill art streams. I'm hoping to copy your chill vibes here today. There's not going to be art, nor is there going to be. Well, there might be puppies. I don't remember if there's dogs in this game. I guess we'll find out. Yes, thank you very much for the subscription also, Tony. I didn't say that. As you can see, my brain's a little today. But hopefully, y'all will get to see a real cool game. Climb the stone staircase, more ancient than the mind can imagine. Find the cornerstone and under it the copper box that is marked with his name. Unlock it, open the lid, take out the tablet of the tablet of lapis lazuli, and read the Epic of Gilgamesh. She has one art. There's been at least one art. Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah, everyone just go follow Tony. She's super close to 50 followers now, and boy howdy, does she deserve all of them. A ridiculously cute doggo. Oh, there is a start screen. I lied to you already. Okay, I'm ending the stream here. I can't. I'm staking my reputation on this. When I opened it up last time, it didn't have a start screen. God. Already, the one thing I've told you about this game has been wrong. Okay, well, Heaven's Vault is really interesting, and I'll just let the game sort of speak for itself on what it's all about. You good? That's a good question, Tony. It's hard to say. I'm not bad. Unless. Wink. Yeah, today's stream is going to be a fair bit more mellow than usually is, I think. What's mellow? Okay, I may be wrong, but I feel like something is meant to have already been happening by now. So maybe the game is just zooming in and out on this mountain top here. I don't think this is meant to be taking this long. Hang on. Let's just try restarting the game. I'll lose all progress from the current playthrough. Oh no. We literally just started. In case it's an Inkle game. I feel like I've played an Inkle game recently. Oh, did they do Later Alligator? Oh, we've got a different poem this time. I lie in Kesh in all heaven and earth. You are the form-shaping place, spreading fear like a great poisonous snake. That's really cool. I didn't know there were multiple opening poems you could get. Because I think you only get these poems when you first start up a game. Okay, you're gonna... There we go, okay. Yeah, our characters are loading in this time at least, it looks like. There they go. That was really weird.
Stories don't have tidy beginnings. The past is always present. But there has to be a spark. Something that brings the past
Now we're off.
to light.
Can you hear the game and everything alright? How's the sound balance? You worry too much. So, first thing about this game is there are quite often little bits of dialogue between our character, Elia, and this robot, Six, which we will come across soon. And you sort of choose the interactions, or you can just choose to say nothing. Seems a bit quiet. Okay, let me boost it up a bit. Take a moment to rest before you walk, mistress, please. Whoop. Okay, let's see how that goes. Oh, if we push ourselves too much, things ain't gonna go well, probably. But yeah, so you can choose which dialogue path you take, which sort of partially also informs your relationship with Six. Or you can also just choose to say nothing, and I don't know if that necessarily affects your relationship a huge amount, or if it's more affects what story you're going to learn. Because this is a game that's definitely meant to be played multiple times, over and over, and sort of get different bits of lore each time. Which is also quite surprising, because it's not a very short game. There is something here. To keep people out, do you think? Or to keep something in? So, this is the main bit of what we do in the game. We look for bits of ancient text around. And I think this very first one is just going to say, Heaven's Vault. Because that's what that bit means. But we are trying to go through and, for each bit of text we find, trying to create translations. And we can only go based on, like, bits of the scraps of information of translation we already know, and cross-referencing it with other bits of text we find. It's really interesting. I really like it. Mainly because I'm a languages nerd. But, you know, if you're a languages nerd, maybe this will appeal to you too. Or if not, if you're a point-and-click type
My story
game fan.
begins on Iox. That was where I met the robot.
Her story begins. I also really like the art style. Like, the blend of 3D and 2D is already interesting. But, like, I think there's just something interesting about the... A little like the... Yeah, it's quite similar to that, Tony. I don't know if I like it. Well, if you do it for fun, maybe you'll enjoy it when... She's very anxious for your arrival. I'm just going to see what happens if we say nothing, because as you can see, the text is fading out. I imagine she is simply being welcoming. This way. I was coming to see her anyway, you know. She is my supervisor. Naturally. Did she say what she wanted? Yes. Thanks, Robot. She said she wanted you. So why has she sent you? Did you do something wrong? That seems unlikely. My ethical core protects me from serious error. And do you have a name, Robot? Is that intended to be a joke, Mistress? This way. You should know the professor's
I was
urgency was
15
remarkable.
when my Ari rescued me from the slums of Elbereth and brought me here. I'd never seen such luxury or such kindness.
Why is Mayari's room so far from everything? I imagine she enjoys her view of the tree, Mistress. I'm sure it is most pleasing to her. Passing No Man's Sky is like the greatest turnaround of popular opinion.
I still
Yeah,
don't know why she
I still
did
need to play more of No Man's Sky. I didn't get very far. Professor Mayari? Elia, there you are. Come in. The thing with Elia is she's quite abrasive, but obviously that also is based on your responses to things. So I came as soon as I got your message. She's quite keen to come back, or it might be, what the hell do you want? You don't need to flatter me, Elia. Nonetheless, I'm glad you came. I know your work is important to you. My work is important to everyone, Professor. Well, today it's important to me. You're our expert on history. Tell me what you make of this. It's a brooch. Yes, Elia. But I didn't summon you halfway across the nebula to tell me that. It's certainly old. Empire period. The device is the eagle and sun. One of the scholars sent this brooch to me. Yannicki Renbar. Did you know him? Did? I always enjoy being sassy. That's my whole thing. I know they're a hobby of yours, Elia, but can you read them? Here we go. Oh. So your controller vibrates like crazy, for one thing. I've never seen either of these groupings before, but the two words have some common elements, so they must have related meanings. Is there a non-sassy Rebecca? I mean, I'll be honest, I feel like my sass is going to be fairly low today. I feel today's going to be more the chill Rebecca. So yeah, as Elia was saying, you can see some sort of related shapes in each of these sentence fragments, which gives you a clue that two might be related. So maybe if this first one, if we imagine it means holy, say, then of these two, that one would be more similar to friend, but emperor would maybe be more related to holy, or you can go back and change this to friend if you're less convinced. Hey Tamsin, welcome in. And it doesn't matter if you get it wrong the first time, because essentially that's why these have question marks at the end of them for now. It's essentially, this seems possibly a translation, and then as you go through and you try to translate new sentences, you'll find things that contradict or confirm theories that you've had before. It's really interesting. I just really like it. So let's go with, what's this about? Yannicki told me he'd found something. That was more than a month ago. Yannicki isn't like you. Oh? He's Nioxian through and through. You mean he's off? You've tried contacting him? I can't. Wherever he is, he's on his own. Not everyone is required to travel with a robot. I can't go hunting the nebula for missing people, Elia, but you can. It's super cool. I don't know if I'm going to make this a full, like, series or anything. I feel like I might keep this for... I've got to take the pun. I'll see what I can dig up. Pew, 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 finger guns. A cruel choice of words, Elia. Maybe, okay, fine. Also not great. Ioxian. It is a chance for me to do a racism. Yeah. Elia, you're taking that robot with you. Thank you, Professor. I long to see the nebula. And you will, my friend. You will. Oh, and before you go, you should look in on Huang. He was eager to see you. That doesn't sound promising. Oh, don't be mean, Elia. I know he's rather beneath you, but you could at least say good faith to him. For the benefit of our little community. I'll go and find him. He's down there by the tree. To be fair, I do actually quite like Huang, so you must have walked straight past him on your way in. Good hunting, my dear. So yeah, the thing with this game, as I say, besides the translation stuff, you can sort of look around for more information on things. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of things to explain. So at the bottom you've got question and remark. Essentially this determines... Oh, should we go down, mistress? I'm trying to explain things to the viewers, Six. Come on. Fine. We'll go downstairs then. Can I just say, Mistress Elia, it is wonderful to be accompanying you. Ah, yes. And why is that? I find humans fascinating, and you are very different to most here. I have only recently been activated. I'm calling you Six. Six, mistress? I shall remember that. I wonder if I got my Irish translation correct. I think I did. The shape shows this is an Empire piece. Okay, so yeah, so in this case, a little bit of a sort of expositional thing, I guess, confirmed my translation of Emperor. So now, and the Emperors believe themselves to be gods, so it makes sense that the words would be almost the same. And we also then confirm holy. So now anytime either of these words turn up in a future translation, they will automatically be put in. It's like, okay, so we know there's something about holy here, but it gets... We'll see where it gets more interesting with translations down the line. But it still doesn't tell me... Where did this thing come from? So there's Huang over there. We can also ask Six some questions. So where did they find you, Six? Me, mistress? Like most robots on Iox, I was chipped carefully free from a concrete wall on the lower levels. But there's a whole lot of story to find in all of this game. And the bits of story that you get will depend entirely on the choices you make. So there'll be things like you find something and who it is that you show that to, or if you give that to, will affect like paths you take later on. It's really good. I really like this game, and it's really like chill. Elia! I didn't know you were back on Iox. How are you, Huang? Well enough, well enough. I've been reading all day. I just came outside to rest my eyes, and there you were. What were you reading? Is my avatar still an alligator? Not for this game, no, I'm afraid. Well, I'm afraid I was too busy reading chat to hear what you actually said there, Huang, but is it relevant to anything? It's only a story. But then stories change how we think. Tell me a story then. Alright. Most people glaze over.
He continued to talk. I watched his mouth moving. I love old stories, but Huang has a way of telling them.
So Elia definitely glazed over. Yes? You weren't listening. Never mind. I'll walk you to the dock. Maybe not. I know Renba, of course. Well, a little. Why? When did you last see him? He was here at the university, maybe 2 weeks ago now? What did he teach? He's a roboticist. One of the best. One of the few. Did you say did? Has something happened to Yannicki? I don't know, Huang. I'm sure it's nothing bad. Oh my. Before you go, it hardly seems important now, but, I found a line of ancient in the Annals of Mazwai I thought you might like. If you have time, that is. Always. That's, like, one of the core bits of this game, so... yeah, see what you think. So the S, like, case in point, we translated the word as emperor, but as you can see, empress was already filled in there. I know one of these words. And so, from that, we can just try and guess. What? Ugh. These symbols resemble my translation for holy, so... it will show any words that have similar glyphs in it. And from that, you can maybe try and guess elements of what it is. Each sort of part of the text represents a different element, so... technically, you're not meant to know this bit yet, but for example, the big sort of looped shape that's in the center of holy and the end of this one means person. So once you start to get used to what certain glyphs mean, you can start to guess or start to like make more educated assumptions of what it might be related to. Yeah, I just really like this game. I think it's really cool. Couldn't tell you what this translation says though. Banished or buried. It's not that. It's really cool. It's the thing though, Mecha, is you don't have to put a huge amount of like concentration into it, because you can, if it comes down to it, just each time one of these comes up, pick one at random, and then if it makes sense as a sentence or roughly sense as a sentence, then you're probably on the right track. If it doesn't, maybe you need to try something else, but things will just get confirmed sort of as you play through anyway. So if you just sort of play through it for sort of the more general story aspects going on, like finding out about the world, about what things have been going on, you'll get through these anyway. It's just like that sort of bit about the glyphs is particularly interesting to me because I'm a languages nerd. So let's try and put in banished rebels, I guess. That sounds theoretically reasonable. I really want to... I definitely recommend it, Tamsin. Like, as I say, I'm not sure. Empress banished rebels? I think that's correct. It's quite a monster, isn't it? A story from the founding of the Empire itself? I suppose the first Empress was one of your 3 wolves. I'd best not keep you. I hope you find him. Was this in the Palestinian aid bundle? I don't know. Shall we proceed to your ship now? Have you sailed before, Six? I don't know if it's in that bundle, Tony, but worth a check. I have no idea, mistress, but I am keen to find out. So we left the hallowed walls of the university. So, each time you leave an area, you get sort of a timeline showing the things you learned and where they're relevant to. So, for example, we have this that shows us Huang showed me a passage from the Annals of Mazwai, and that took place sort of 15 to 30 seconds ago. But it will also show you, I believe, you can sort of check by... Oops, didn't mean to do this. I haven't played the game very recently, so I'm going to million things. But you can also sort of keep track of things based on when they were first done. So hang on. If we zoom out all the way, you can see, for example, 6 is buried on Iox. Maybe happened roughly 1,000 years ago? Crown of Iox was forged. Don't remember hearing about that, but here we go. And then the first Empress to beat a group of rebels maybe took place around here. It's just interesting. So, the second big part of this game is Elias' ship, which is also really just lovely. And just you wait. Just you wait for some real chill vibes. My ship is my refuge. It's the only place that's truly mine. The journey to Maerzi should be quick, mistress. You think my Irish friend is in trouble? As I say, mistress, we should know shortly if we depart. Elias' ship when... Then let's get to it. Hopefully we'll be in time to help. Whatever has happened to Yannicki, I will prepare the ropes. Oh, it's not in the bundle. Oh. Well, if it goes on sale or anything, I would definitely recommend picking it up. Now, our destination is Maerzi, but if we want, we could go to Elbereth, which is Elias' home planet. You're a real goof, man, Wynne. Or we can go to Renaki. It's a market moon far outside the reach of Iox. So, if you want to follow the main story, you can just head straight to Maerzi, but if you want to explore around a bit, you can also, I think, head back to Iox if you want. I think you could maybe talk to Huang, and Huang is quite a good person. You can sort of drop in on him every now and then. He'll quite often just give you a couple of new sentence fragments to try and translate, which can help you sort out your translations as you go. For the sake of simplicity, let's just head straight to Maerzi, I think. And what this does is it plots the course for you, but you still have the choice of sailing the ship yourself if you want. Sailing to Maerzi in the Verdant Pass.
Mayari wanted us to sail to Maerzi. It was a short sail through fast waters.
And just look at this, though. The path turns right, mistress, as should we. And yeah, so as you can see, 6 will tell you when you need to turn, or there'll be these little arrows telling you the right thing. But if you want, you can just try turning off onto different paths. But if you miss your turning, it says reset. But you don't have to reset. You can loop yourself back around if you want to, but I'm not going to do that right now. Return of the Obra Dinn is also a really good game. That's a really fun and really unique puzzle game. I was considering playing that one today, but I thought more people knew of Return of the Obra Dinn than Heaven's Vault, and I kind of wanted to show this one off a bit. Whoosh. I forgot how nice the nebula was. It's just a real sweet time. This is your ship, mistress. Well, this is your ship, mistress, is probably the emphasis. I call her the Nightingale. I found her in a ruined hall on Elbereth, covered in dust. She must have been someone's prized possession once. She's mine now. That's Maerzi. You can see the greenery from here. If Renber's here, I need to find Cat Crime. Thank you, born and depressed introvert. If Renber's here, I need to find him. And if he's not, I need to work out where he went.
We stepped off the ship and into the mud. Mud covered the ground and rock.
Oh, that's annoying,
And
Tamsin.
everywhere I looked, things were growing from the mud. And some of those things had legs.
We don't have a dog yet, but we do have a funky little pig. Look at this place. Breathe the air. Does 6 breathe? I don't know. Legally, I have to stream the whole game now. That's a lot of game. I'd have to go through multiple playthroughs to show it all off. But sure, why not? Actually, probably not, because I've also realized I am paying a lot of, like, paying attention to chat, I do keep missing things in the game. Which is probably fine. We're really lucky I'll have found an old pot. But also I may end up missing a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. But we'll see. If you guys like watching me stream this, maybe I will play it more regularly. But I don't necessarily plan to make it a series, because I don't want to start too many series at the same time, you know? If we climb up, away from the water, that should take us to the village. It's a listing statue. I love these old moons, with their ancient stories. Who's that, for instance? One of the older goddesses? She is guarding the fields. I would estimate over 1,500 years have passed since she was carved. So yeah, as you can see, you now have a marker saying, Goddess erected on Mersey around this sort of time. And your timeline just fills out with details of all the stuff that happened so long ago that still kind of affects things now, but not necessarily even hugely. Like, this statue has been here. It's presumably had a big impact on how the town grew, but other than that, it was still ancient. There is no way I am crossing that, mistress. Robots cannot swim. Well, then you'll just have to wait over there, I guess. The wood is strong enough, Six. Wood is a laughable substance to build floors from, mistress. It can be chewed through by mice. So can wires. Okay. Shut him up. Yeah, Tamsin, I definitely get that. It's a lot like Kakariko, huh? Well, this was fun. Doesn't look like there's necessarily much for us to do, unless there's something down this little slope. This is the other struggle for this game for me, is that I'm one of those types that likes to go and explore everything. Dating for the Holy Empire. And there's an inscription. But you can find these inscriptions, like, everywhere. Like, we just found a random little bit of stuff over here. Ancient scribes didn't always trouble to put in their spaces. I don't think they expected their writing to be read. So, here's what I was briefly getting to before. Where it can be a bit unclear sometimes where elements begin and end. So, for example, let me try and find one. Right. As you can see, there's like... So we can fit holy into there, but it may be the case that there's a word we don't know yet that incorporates this first bit over here and holy all together in one word. Or just like this most right-hand glyph and the word holy. So it may be that we've still got stuff to go, but Elias seems to think this is 3 words. Let's see now. This word reminds me somewhat of my word for banished. So maybe, I guess, leave would be the closest out of those options. And then the next glyph is somewhat like my word for emperor. Are they? There's one thing in there that's quite like it, but other than that... The holy hat. There you go. Mecha's already figured it out. This is about the holy hat. The most important part of Heaven's Vault. It's a real fancy chapeau. Leave holy light. That doesn't make any sense, but maybe we'll figure something out later down the line. See what Hang thinks when I get back to Iox. You can also, yeah, you can run past 1 or 2 of your translations with him. If you find things from... Yeah, okay. So the more artifacts you find as well, Elia will start to relate them to one another, and you can go find the original site they came from to try and find more artifacts, and it's really cool. And like each... Hang on, I'll continue this rave after I say, hello Rob, welcome in. Let me give Rob a shout out, because Rob, as of yesterday, is a streamer. Hell yeah. He was playing Outer Wilds yesterday for... How long was it, Rob? Like 7 hours? But it was, for the bits I was there for, it was super chill. And I believe you're playing some Stardew Valley tonight. Is that correct? But yeah, everyone go check out Rob. Go follow Rob for some real nice times. Also to encourage new streamers. Yeah, for 7 hours. Whoo boy. A genuine forest. I just couldn't support trees like this. Stardew Valley today? Hell yeah. Still, I hope Rainbow didn't run off to live in the woods. We'd never find him in there. Oh. There's something scratched here. The emblem of Iox. This moon is in the Iox Protectorate. Well, Yannick won't be hiding in there. That tithe barn was big. This moon produces a surplus, mistress, for what good it does them.
The air smelled earthy and sweet.
Yeah, we were playing a game of Guess Who, and we had to narrow things down. Rob and Win might end up in the same ballpark together, you know? Soil is permanently saturated by it. Rice! Rice. Do they grow anything else here? It would not appear so. Can you do a scan for Yannick or something? Mistress has mistaken me for a dog. Perhaps you believe I had a scrap of clothing, then I could trace a scent. Alright! Alright, Mr. Sassbot 5000. So how are we supposed to find him? I have visual scanners of exceptional acuity, mistress. If I see him, I will let you know. You're not the first robot I've had trailing me, you know. Every time I break or lose one, they give me another. Same ballpark. Can't figure out why. The university cares for your well-being, mistress. Look at this thing. Where is she from? From the material, I would judge it was not quarried here, but most likely close by. Is this a crab? Hi, Chirico, welcome in. It's... I don't know what this you're referring to. If you mean me, then yes. If you mean this statue, then no. It has been here long enough for its various radiation signatures to have faded. Ooh.
Crab.
Crab. Thank you very much for the subscribing, Tam. Welcome in. How the heck are you doing? And how are you doing, Chirico? I don't believe I asked. We're playing Heaven's Vault today, which is a game that is very hard to describe in its entirety. But I really love it. I think it's super interesting. And I'm just wearing your comfy shorts today. Hell yeah, Tam. You've definitely got the right vibe for today. Because today we're just being a bit chill. The Grey Lady's Orphanage. Mayari, kind. Have you met her? She's strong, she's principled, she's organized, she's fair, and she's as kind as a thunderstorm. Yeah, that shut him up. Yeah, today's vibes are extra chill. Someone's carved something here. Symbols in the ancient script. Might be able to translate them. So, for those who have just joined us, the central sort of puzzle of this game is we coming across scraps of text that we're trying to decipher based on what glyphs are present in the text. So as you can see here in the center, we've got this thing with a couple of like wavy shapes, which has similar glyphs in it to the thing that we believe might mean light, but are not 100% sure on. It also has this single small wave that is in this word that we know means emperor. So I'm getting the feeling that this might mean water, because that might make sense, because I feel the bit in the middle definitely looks like... Why is there a question mark after death? Because we don't know what that means. Or we don't know what glyph is death. So this would be like, our guess for this one is maybe it's death, or maybe it's heart. I think it's water, because this middle glyph looks quite a bit like water. And then, if I had to guess, it could be like maybe the elements at the start of water and light that we have here could describe like an element. So then this would combine to be like element of water, element, and then this could be like light beam straying down. But I don't know yet. We'll figure that out sometime down the line. Holy water carpenter? A church then, or a cult? Possibly, yeah. I mean, we seem to believe this is a statue of a goddess. So I reckon goddess probably makes sense here. And then holy water goddess sounds roughly like a sentence or a sentence fragment. So I'm going to guess that for now. I could still change my mind, but holy water goddess? There's certainly plenty of water here. She's guarding their most precious resource, keeping it all fertile. Look at holy and goddess. Let me just double check those. Yeah, exactly, Mecca. You look at holy and you look at goddess, and you can see they are super similar. Just holy has a little bit at the start there, and then there's also some things in this that denote what the role of the word is in a sentence. So I think I don't remember exactly what they all are, but I think there's one which is like, this denotes that this is a verb. So that may well be that then that little tiny bit at the very start there means it's an adjective. So it's an adjective of goddess. Ah, it's so cool. I think it's really fascinating, this game. What did you call your first robot, mistress? Presumably you did not call it one, unless you were already planning your robocidal spree. I gave it a name. I called it Taline. That is a girl's name on Elbereth? I didn't name it after anyone, if that's what you're thinking. I just liked the name. Interesting. Cannot imagine having a name. I cannot imagine it would matter, and yet I believe I feel the lack. What name would you like? I do not know. I will consider the matter. For now, you're 6, though. Okay, let's just keep looking around a bit. Verbal adjectives are only means of trying to postpone the inevitability of death. You good there, Win? You doing good? Suppose there's nothing old here. No ruins, no ancient kings, no crumbled towers. Definitely doesn't look like it. Of course not, mistress. This is a farmyard. I mean, there might be old farm stuff. This is a waste of my time, that's what it is. Rem is probably back on Iox again right now. Professor Mayari would have contacted me if that was the case, mistress. He is out here, somewhere. Waiting. Out this way. There can't be that many more robots left. There were a few hundred in my cohort. And how many cohorts are there? I cannot be sure. I have some connection with my cohort, but nothing beyond that. At any rate, we would all appreciate it if you took more care of your robots.
This was what passed.
That's a
through the
fair,
street on
a fair
Mayer's
request.
Buildings on stilts, jumping out of the bushes like children. It was so quiet.
Hey, Peg. Do you have any ancient scraps of text for me? No? You're just a pig? Okay. Have a nice day, I guess. Now, what would Yannick be doing here? There aren't any robots on Myerzy. Are they? Approach a villager. Let's do that. Good faith, master. My apologies, Ioxian. My pigs need me. But please, if you could just... No one on Myerzy wants to talk to me. Did I do something wrong? You came here. Perhaps that is all. I have to go. My pigs need me. That's how I get out of most conversations. The locals don't seem surprised to see me. Or to see you. I imagine robots collect supplies from here routinely. The locals, I note, also do not seem pleased to see you. Yeah. That's probably a By my faith, it stinks here. I do not believe pigs are known for their hygiene, mistress. He's such a sassy robot. 6. My goodness. I don't remember you being this sassy when I last played through. Exactly. I have pigs to attend to. This guy's just trying to run away from us, I think. But also not doing very well.
3 paths met at the heart of the village. I could imagine them all sitting around here in the evenings, sipping rucker and singing. It seemed nice.
Stranger. Imagine having no pigs to attend to. Greetings to you. Welcome to my Urzi. You have come to trade? Actually, I'm looking for someone. Who? Not a Myersian, surely. We are alike as ants to you. So, we've got some interesting interplanetary conflict to be navigating here as well, huh? My friend is an Ioxian. We do not keep any of those in our pens. Good luck with your search. They say the nebula is wide. It's certainly a big un. Helpful. It appears Rambo was never here, mistress. Perhaps you should return to the ship. At least someone here will talk to us properly. Please, I need to talk to you. Is that so? Please, it is important I find my friend. No disrespect, but we have seen no strangers here on my Urzi until today. Good faith to you. Alright. Sounds like Ramba definitely wasn't here then. Do we head back to the ship, or do we look for some more bits of ancient text? Let's just head back to the ship. Come on, 6. Let's try this way. Because there will also come times in the game when you will... I'm just going to bring up the robots again out of nowhere. It seems to keep happening. Everything's fine. Then they throw themselves over a cliff. Throw themselves, or are they pushed? Depends on the robot. It's always... Depends on the robot. Yeah, there will be times where it's like, you've done the story thing you need to do here. That's because we are, yeah. Yeah, we're going back to the ship, probably. There'll come times where it'll be like, oh, but we were not alone. You were from Iox? My name is Alaya. Then you are not her. Not Mayari. Oh. That's who you're waiting for. I heard your voice. You're Ioxian. But you said Alaya. My name is Alaya Mayari. Do you have a message for me? He told me you might come. Yannicki? My tall Ioxian. He left something for you. With the goddess to keep it safe. So Yannicki was here. Do you know where he went? I'm looking for him. He promised he would come back. I did so like to believe him. I hope you find him, Miss Mayari. So, you may have seen all of these things popping up in the right may have impacts on the story later. So the fact that I've pretended to be Mayari, will that come back to haunt me, or will it come back to be a benefit? Who knows? Already there's been quite a few things happening that I don't remember happening my first playthrough. Do you recognize Rambo if you saw him? Did you meet him? I believe he activated me, mistress. I suspect that is why Professor Mayari assigned me to you. So, he left something with the goddess. Ooh. And here's Rambo's mysterious secret, almost buried in the grass. A shard of crystal. Does it mean anything to you, Six? It is most curious. This moon does not contain any crystals of this type. What kind of crystal is it, Six? Iolite, mistress. Valueless. Maiori's brooch? The stone inside it is the same as Remba's crystal? Undoubtedly. I would calculate they came from the same source. And can we find that source? With some analysis, mistress? Yes, I believe we can. Time to go, mistress. So yes, you'll be given this prompt of if you want to stay and look for things, or if you just want to try and head off. And it doesn't necessarily mean you've done everything that you need to do, or that everything you can do when you're given the option to leave. It's not even necessarily you've done everything in the bit of story you're trying to do. Sometimes it just springs on you. It's like, it's up to you if you want to try and follow a different lead. So let's try and find this new location that we've inferred the existence of, shall we? I think that sounds like a good idea. What was he trying to tell her? Mysteries. I am quite certain in my analysis, mistress. The crystal we found, mistress, and the element inside the brooch, they originate from a moon somewhere on the edge of the cyclones. I've never been that way. No one has. Those are wild rivers. I wonder, what exactly did Remba discover? The dangers of sailing through a hurricane? I don't want whatever happened to Remba happening to us. I will do my best to keep you safe, mistress. But presumably Remba had a robot with him, who will have said something similar. Thanks, Six. That's really got us feeling good about the whole scenario, huh? Mm-hmm. It's fine. Let's just head to the cyclones. It's good. It's fine. So, what we have here, we have unknown sight, which gives us some clue of this is the vague area that Renba presumably is, or found these things. But we don't know enough to narrow it down, so we can't track to there. Whereas the Iolite moon here, we can go to. So let's try that out. I don't know if... because we definitely had that other bit of fragment that was similar to the brooch we found. It's really cool, Rob. I definitely recommend it. I think now that I've played Outer Wilds, it's definitely a game you'll be confused a lot of the time. It's definitely a thing of gradually, and you probably won't learn close to everything on your first playthrough. But it's, now that I've played Outer Wilds, I'm sort of starting to see the similarities that I love, where it's like, it's all about finding information and getting leads and choosing the leads that you want to follow. And it's not necessarily thing like, there's the main story to be following, but there's other things you might want to investigate, like you'll come across an NPC who you think would benefit from going to a different planet, so you offer to take them. But on the way, like, you're like, well, okay, but if I stop off on the way, I'll stop off at this planet because there's something of interest that I wanted to check out there. And it's just really clever. I'm a big fan, if you haven't guessed that already, from the fact that I'm playing this and I keep gushing about it. People who like people stay on the ground. Whoosh. You do not like people, mistress? That explains a lot. Is there scary dark bramble places or oceans you have to dive into? I don't believe so. I think this game... I don't think there's even, like, quick time events or anything. Is there anything you do like? I think it's just investigation and... I don't know. There's not quick time events, but I feel like most things you don't have infinite time to plan. So all these dialogue options, I've wanted to sort of think about them and weigh them up, but I could see they were disappearing. So I had to just choose one. And there are like, I think, situations in which you can end up in some trouble. But yeah, I don't believe there's anything like the Dark Bramble say. I don't think there's anything where you're like navigating through a vast ocean that you can't see anything in. There's just the nebula here, where you can only travel along the rivers. I'm detecting certain elevated emotional markers. Detect what you like. Whoa! I seem to almost be flying off the edge there, but I don't think you actually can, so not 100% sure what was happening there. Vicinity of the Iolite Moon. I think the Iolite Moon is around here. View possible search locations. Okay, that's... yeah, I didn't remember entirely, but when you get to pinpointing down rough areas, so as you can see we've got the dotted line here, it looks like there's just the one unexplored ruin in this sector for us to find, but there will come times when it's like, we've found enough pieces to know that there's some site of interest in this sort of vicinity or whatever, and there might be like 3 or 4 different sites that you can check, some of which will just be small fragments on which there's maybe a bit of text to translate, but there may be planets for you to go and explore and to find a lot of bits of lore in. It's just really cool. I would definitely recommend, if you're feeling interested in this game, I'm definitely going to recommend you get it. Because who knows if I'm going to keep playing it or not. There's a rock up ahead. What have we found? Why would anyone come to a lonely spot like this? We have arrived, mistress. The moon below us is rich in purple iolite crystals, but there is no surface flow. We cannot land the ship. So this is as close as we can get? As close as you can get, mistress. I should be able to hop her down, but there is no air. I won't ask Hopper, because I can just explain that's essentially the robots can use Hopper to teleport. It's a good time. If there's no air, how did Renba go down without a robot? It would have been impossible. But Renba was a roboticist, mistress. He must have had a robot with him. Despite what the professor told us. Please wait here. Just don't take too long. And as Six just said, he said, despite what the professor told us. Does that mean Mayari lied to us?
Later, the robot was gone. And I was alone in the dark.
What were you up to, Renba? If you didn't find robots on Myozi, what did you find? If I flew away now, I could be rid of that thing. Do we get the option to do that? We don't. It's fine though. Mistress. Oh, I found something, mistress. A tool chest. This is Yannicki's? Probability is high. I believe the moon below us was once a quarry. But this box is no artifact. Tool chest. An engineer's chest. You'd better not have damaged it. It appears intact to me, mistress. I hope there isn't a snake in here. That's a good... yeah, let's hope not. A roll of cloth. Thick fabric. Yannicki, what is this? Some kind of robe? It's hundreds of years old. And there's something stitched along the belt. Tiny characters picked out in a darker thread. This is a long one. Let me think. So this one we already know is made up of 3 different words because the person who stitched this took the time to, or took care to put the spaces in, so we know where each fragment begins and ends. But for some of them, the spaces won't be so clearly defined, and you have to try and figure out whether, say, the right-hand bit of this one is actually the left-hand bit of this, or if it's all part of this one. So, let's have a look what we've got. Nothing helping there. Got... Okay, at the end it looks like gods, or goddess. Mecca believes soldiers. Personally, I'm thinking pilgrims, maybe. Because if it's got pilgrim, it's people who make journeys for religious purposes, maybe to get to a religious site of importance, or to sort of follow a trail that an important religious figure took. I believe that's what a pilgrim is. I may be missing an important part of the story there. Drinks? Maybe it's drinks. I'm suspecting pilgrims. Robes are classic drinking attire. I mean, yeah, it may well have just been from a fun night out with the lads. The ancient lads. But also, who's to say the pilgrims weren't getting Larry? I don't know. I'm gonna guess pilgrims, personally. And then based on that, let's see what we can maybe guess. So, something, pilgrim, something. Is not pilgrims. Stay pilgrim. I mean, all or zero definitely seem to be the only ones that make any sense out of that. Something pilgrims. Follow. Ahead. Weaker. All pilgrims are weaker. I mean, the one that makes most sense to me, at least, is all pilgrims follow. Look, there's a 0 there. I mean, that may be absolutely right, Ravane. I don't know. All pilgrims follow, all pilgrims together. Yeah, that's what I'm not 100% sure on. Pilgrims together. Yeah, I feel like that actually probably makes the most sense, huh? All pilgrims together. Let's give it a go. But the question is, why did Renba hide this? There's more in here. This is a pen. It's beautifully preserved. Doesn't have an etched message on the nib. But I think this is from a different place than that robe. In fact, I don't think we've seen anything equivalent to this pen before. So it must have originated on a site that's entirely new to us. But that's not all. What else have we got? This was a scratch telescope carved to the outline of a sail. How did Renba get his hands on all this? The casing looks like it's etched with characters in ancient script. Here we go. This one is a broken fragment from an even longer phrase. So yeah, as you can see, on the ends of this, on either side of this, there's the little sort of jagged bits. That means this won't necessarily make a full normal sentence. This might just be the middle of a sentence. Ah, it's so cool. Beautiful pen preserved or average pen well preserved? That's a good question. I didn't see the pen, and we never will, so we'll just have to... I'm going to say it's a really nice pen. Maybe Renba just wanted to keep that one because it was cool. This game's super stylish, right, Win? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Right, so... here, we can try and plug in things that we have figured out already. So, for example, we can see here, we've got the glyphs that we believe might mean leave. And here we've got light. I'm feeling confident about my translation of light. Cool, so light is now confirmed. We don't get to confirm leave yet, I guess. But we can also then take this chance to maybe reevaluate our translation of leave based on this new text that we have. So we could get into leave Stars Light or possibly into Stars Light, follow Stars Light. This is also on a telescope, which the item that you're looking at can also inform what the translation is going to be about. So, for example, if there had been an inscription on the pen, it may well have been a thing about... It may have indicated it should be something about writing or stories or history, like keeping records of things. So I think maybe this will be follow Stars Light. Potentially. But we'll find out someday. Follow Stars Light. Most likely this comes from the same place as the pen. So are these leads, or are these things what Remba was after? Wait, mistress. I will consider the matter. Can you work out where the robe originated? I fear so. It is not a good location, mistress. But Professor Mayari was keen that we found Master Remba, and I am sure Master Remba is equally keen to be found. Show me. I'm not exactly certain, mistress, but I believe Remba travelled far from home, into the eye of the cyclones. Ah, heck! That's probably not good. But yeah, so now that we have the pen and the telescope being from the same location, we may be able to narrow down a bit more closely a site that they came from for us to investigate. There's so many elements to this game. It's complex but really well done. Because their pigs needed them. Exactly. Ren was like, I'm sorry, I have to go and find my pigs. They're in the eye of the cyclone right now. But, you know, you've got to take risks when you're a pig farmer. So, we can either go back to Iox to report that... That's the thing, to report that Remba is most likely dead. Or we can head to the Eye of the Cyclones and see if we can figure something out. And hopefully not die. Who knows? Alternatively, we can say, screw the mission right now. I want to go to Reneki and see if there's anything cool there. I reckon... Let's fly into the Eye of the Cyclones. Because hell yeah, let's chase that death. Sailing to the Eye of the Cyclones. I mean, yeah, you joke, Raven, but that may well be a thing you can do. It may be, like, I don't know all the things you can do in the game anymore, but it's like, it may well be you can just find someone at the markets and be like, I've got this cool robe. Would you like to trade for something? And then maybe they'll trade you, like, something with a different inscription on it. But then because you don't have the robe later down the line, you can't solve a different mystery, and it's, Remba must have really wanted to hide what he hid in that box of his. Whoosh! I wonder why. Whoop! It's all good, it's all fine. Nothing to worry about. We're just flying into the Eye of the Cyclones, it's all good. Hold on, Sex. I cannot hold on, mistress. We're in one piece. Hell yeah. We appear to be. I don't know which one of us was saying which, but it's fine. Swoosh. Well, I've just noticed in the bottom right, the prompts seem to be overlapping each other a bit there. I didn't even know Remba sailed. I didn't know that anyone on Iox did. Not really. But here he was, exploring the wilds. It is most curious, mistress. Wow! One wonders what he was looking for. Well, only one way to find out, maybe. Another rapid! This whole area's wild. Whee! I didn't hear skids go off there. Did you guys? We'd better check the hull when we next land. We seem to have emerged close to the eye of the cyclones, mistress. Okay, you heard. That's good. I guess I just missed it over something. The water droplets go left here. Well, that's a shame, because I didn't. I cannot see which way to turn at this branch, mistress. Sometimes you just have to explore. You can try and use your map to figure out how to get there. So it looks like we just keep following this. We're going to get pulled to the site we're going to anyway. So let's just keep heading on and hoping for the best. We'll have to choose one and explore. We did it! A moon? There is air, but no upriver, mistress. We will need to leave the ship here and hopper down. Please do not be alarmed. It is quite safe. It better be 6, or else I'm pushing you off this damn moon. Oh, thank you, Mecca, for the stretch, the posture check, and the hydrate. Everyone, I recommend you do the same. Ooh. Make sure you're looking after yourselves. As captivating as this game may be, it's important to make sure that you don't neglect your body. Will Ren be waiting for us in the center of the storm?
The hopper fired, and for a moment
Let's
I was
find
gone.
out, I guess.
Not aboard the Nightingale, not on the moon beneath.
Thank you,
Could have been
Sarah,
a
for the boop.
heartbeat or an hour.
Oh, hang on, my headphones are doing weird shit.
But I didn't feel the cold
That'll be
until
why I
I
didn't hear
reappeared.
skids. A pile of rocks, mistress, smashed together by the waters. It seems Yaniki has a taste for places like this. I have a feeling about this one. Wherever Rumba was after, we're close. My posture right now is incredibly bisexual. That's a good posture. We are taking considerable risk. This way. Do you think we will find it? Do you think we will find him? I prefer to believe that we will. I'd like to meet him again, to see if I can remember him at all. Perhaps Remember is waiting for us just around this corner. We can hop him back to the Nightingale, and this chapter of my life will be done. Look at his face. Perhaps, mistress, perhaps. We can only hope. That is actually a good point. Everyone, I'm gonna take a quick little break to do a whole proper, like, get up from the computer, do a little stretch, maybe grab a snack. I recommend everyone else do the same. In the meantime, let's go to the intermission screen and listen to some nice, chill beats. Do it, Churiko. Or don't. It's a chill time. I'm not gonna try and enforce anything, but I'm still gonna try and recommend that you take care of yourself. And Skids would want you to take care of yourself, Churiko. You can't deny that little laugh. Okay, I'll see you all again in 10 minutes-ish. Okay. Let's get the game to hook up. And I hope you all had a quick little break from your screens. Welcome back in, Rob. Hope the phone call went well. And welcome in, Raven. Also, I think I said welcome in, Sarah, but if I didn't, welcome in, Sarah. I hope you're all good. It was good. Hell yeah. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Also, thank you, Rob, for the cat crime while I was away. 6. What's that?
Here, in the middle of the hurricane, there was a house. It was fine. Tucked in below the overhanging rock. Wooden beams, mud brick walls, shutters. Large enough for 2 families to argue over. It would have been measly on Iox and grand on Elbereth. But here, it was impossible.
Someone built this? Buildings do not occur naturally, mistress. Alright. Alright. How did Yannicki find it? I hope we can ask him, mistress. Blocked with rubble and ruin. This whole place must be slowly peeling away from the cliff. How will she get in? Perhaps you might forego going inside? Screw that noise, of course we're going inside. So what should I do? Just go back to Iox and say we got so far, then we gave up? You don't think she'd send us right back here? I do not think Professor Mayari wants you to sprain your ankle, mistress. I don't think Mayari cares about my ankle. And besides, you can always hop on me back to the ship. She's in Colorado. Oh, hell yeah, Tony. Get a nice chill iced coffee? Certainly. We calculate odds, of course. But even the most unlikely outcomes must always eventually occur. Hope is a mathematical certainty. Alright, alright. I like that. Mathematics does not care whether you like it or not, mistress. He's so sassy! I do not remember... I remember him being a bit sassy now and then, but my goodness. Completely sideways in an armchair with my legs crossing the arm. Yeah, Tony, that is peak bisexual posture right there. Here we go. Gonna clamber over. It's probably fine. See? Nothing to it. Easy peasy. All seems sound enough. 6? Where did the robot go? That's probably fine. That's probably fine. We don't need to worry about that. Look at this place, Alaya. No one would live here. They couldn't. Jack, welcome in. How the heck are you doing?
The ghosts were still here. Cooking, reading, doing whatever ghosts do. The house was empty. But it hadn't been abandoned.
Walls simply made. Lots of wood must have been brought here. Oh, hey! How you doing there? Mistress! Obviously it is good to see you intact, mistress. How did you get down from that arch? I could not climb over the wall, so I drove myself off the cliff edge. Once I had dug myself out of the sand, I found a door. Now you understand why I keep losing robots. They're always doing stupid stuff like that. I don't know why Mayari wanted me to take you with me. Having a chill day playing some Hollow Knight? Hell yeah, Jack. Professor cares about your safety. Then she certainly doesn't care about yours. I'm a risk taker, baby. Turns out 6 is one of those robots that fall off the cliff. Exactly, yeah. He's just like, you know what? I need to get over there. Jump off this cliff. The building won't actually cave in on us, will it? I cannot guarantee that, mistress. It's probably fine. Let's look at a crumpled blanket, why not? Someone curled up here by the fire to keep warm. Someone died here, mistress. You sure? The evidence is minor, but significant. A person lay on the floor here for some time after death. Okay, Rob, thank you very much for coming by. Hopefully see you this evening for some Stardew. What's been going on? Welcome in, Teddy. A person who lay in state here was only removed recently. I will tell you shortly. Renba? No. Whoever died here died scores of years ago. The lack of moisture on this moon has preserved the traces, but they are old. So did Yannicki take the body away? What remained of them? Someone did. Okay. I believe I can find a fire poker. Once we're into this screen, I'll have a second to talk about what this game is. Is it worth anything? Unlikely. It is old iron, no more. Let's take it with us anyway. Maybe worth something to someone. There's an inscription up here. More symbols. Water goddess? So, Teddy, the main conceit of this game, Colorado is on the moon this whole time. Who'd have thought? In the middle of the cyclone. The main conceit of this game is we are on the trail of someone called Yannicki Renba. And we are an archaeologist slash linguist of ancient texts. So what we're trying to do, as we're on the trail of Renba, we find these little bits of sentences, and we have to try and figure out what they say, and they might lead us to clues down the line, or give us information about things that were important to these ancient civilizations, while also figuring out what the hell happened to Renba, and whether that has significant effects on things. So, Water Goddess looks, sails, loves, or blesses. Where is this taking place? So, this is taking place in a fictional world in space. We have just flown to this abandoned planet in the middle of the cyclones. So, essentially we can sail on these rivers, these sort of nebula rivers. It's kind of hard to... You'll see the nebula in a little bit. In space? Well, I guess we don't know for certain that it's fictional, Dan, but it's certainly not here. It's certainly not a world that we occupy. So yeah, so we're in the middle of a thing where there seems to be a house, despite this being in the middle of one of the wildest bits of space. That's curious. Right, so I believe... Yeah, Mecca. Mecca's definitely feeling keen about this, and blesses, yeah, I agree. So, to go over this for the newcomers, you can see in this text, for example, you'll see elements of words that you've translated before. And, for example, if you look at the 3 glyphs on the right-hand side of this, you can see they are identical to the ones that we believe means goddess currently. That might change. We might want to change it to craftsman if we see something we think... But because we have goddess there, it seems quite likely that this is a word in some way related to goddess, assuming we're correct. In which case, in this instance, bless makes the most sense. So let's go with blesses. And here's another thing. So earlier we had light, and over here we have water. And now you can see the outer symbols, the left and the rightmost symbols, are the exact same in all 3 of those words, but the middle one is different. This sort of suggests my theory from before might hold water, that it's about elements. So of those, I feel like then element of fire would make sense. Also, this is on a hearth, so having something in there about fire would make sense. Water goddess blesses fire? It's a weird sentence, but I don't know, I feel like that's probably based on what we've got so far. I mean, all of this, the thing is that all of this is entirely fluid. We may discover later, oh no, our guess of what water was completely wrong. And that might recontextualize what we think fire is then, or any number of things. Does Water Goddess blesses fire work? The Water Goddess from Myurzi. Is this place directly connected to Myurzi then? and gave you hearth and alternative to water too. True, Ravain, but we had the thing we got this from was from a big statue, which it wouldn't necessarily make sense for hearth to be there, but maybe it is hearth. I don't know. Sometime down the line we'll figure something out. We can also, if we want, try going back to Iox, check in with Huang, and we may be able to run this translation past him, and he'll tell us maybe one of the two of the words, whether we're right about it or not. And this is the other thing that the game does to keep it balanced, is you can't just, anytime you have any sentence fragments, just go talk to Huang and get them all checked. He will only do it like once or twice. He will only do it for, I think, maybe 2 fragments a trip. And then you have to leave and come back and do all kinds of things. And maybe you'll be wasting time if you do that. It's a complex game, but I'm a big fan. It's a complex game, but I think it's not too difficult to really like follow like the aim of what you're doing. Heavy wooden box. This looks interesting. Beautifully made. Much nicer than everything else here. I estimated to be hollow, mistress. Another of Renba's boxes? A box, yes. But this one is far older than Renba. Let's look at these symbols on the lid. Might be a clue as to what's inside. Oh, there's one very short glyph in there, huh? More words I don't know. So, we have very little to go off here. Potentially water on this, in which case cup is probably the closest, perhaps. We've got this thing from all, and this has a lot of that. Yeah, the one on the far right does seem to have some relation to water, which potentially cup then. But if we're right about all here, I guess it would make sense for the 4 dashes to be big. In which case, the fact that there's a lot of those in there might mean enormous. But then enormous cup, is that a thing? Is that a logical thing to believe? This has something we believe is potentially related to light. Something banished in there. Oh, it's got quite a bit of the same thing we put in star. Winds? Winds called enormous cup. Winds. I feel like it would make sense for this to be of. Treasure called enormous cup. I mean, yeah, it might be. Might be relating to this a bit too Eurocentrically. I mean, treasures might make sense. Because also the other thing you can do, if you're really not sure about your translations, is look through and just try and make a sentence that makes sense. Because this one we know isn't a fragment, it's a full thing. In which case what we have is like treasures of enormous value is definitely a sentence. We can't move the elements around. So we can't put enormous here. Each one has just a couple of options. Books of tiny truth. Books or treasures of enormous truth. Books of enormous truth. It's hard to. It's tricky, but also it doesn't fundamentally matter if we get this right now. It sort of informs what Alaya might think about it. I am gonna say enormous cup is probably not correct. Maybe jewel because it would sparkle like a star and the star characters are there. We don't have jewel, but we do have treasures. Okay, I think of probably makes sense for this. Also, that would potentially track for our translation of stars being possessive there. Treasures of enormous value. That's where I'm leaning. It is also a box, but is it like a fancy box? Maybe it just contains some really cool books about knowledge. Treasures of enormous value? That's what I'm gonna guess. Water could be synonymous with... That is also true. I will be most excited by this find, mistress, whatever proves to be inside. That sounds interesting. Also, you got to bear in mind, though, Raven, was this necessarily a desert planet at the time it was written? Open it up then, Six. Not locked, mistress, but stiff. And I lack fingers for leverage. Move over. Let's see if I can shift it. Curses. I've got fingers, but I can't get them under the lid. Now, I'm gonna leave the lid open with the iron poker, but I will say that last time, when I played this the first time through, I had the iron poker and I had the option to tell Six to go get a crowbar. So what you can do is you can lever this open. You can tell Six to go get the crowbar, and while he's gone, lever it open. You can take whatever is inside without him seeing it. And that sets off a series of things you can do. But since I've already done that, I'm going to do this other option. Just going to open it up. Mistress, is it moving? It's definitely shifting. Poker, you hardly know her! Here goes then. Let's look inside. Let's see.
And there it was, just lying there. The greatest treasure I ever found.
6. Look at this.
And inside the coffer, from the distant past of the nebula's once great empire,
Incredible.
it was a crown.
Should I put it on? Let's go with Eagle and Sun motif. Eagle and Sun motif. Just like Yannicki's brooch. The mark of the Empire. Could this be the crown of Iox itself? What's this crown doing out here? Did Yannicki bring it here and hide it? I do not think that coffer has been opened in at least 500 years, mistress. But he must have known it was here. Why else come? There's something written along the rim. This is a long one, huh? Put it on! Put it on! If I have the option to, maybe I will. But I may have missed my chance. In which case, maybe you should just go and get the game yourself and try. I don't know, who knows? There's lots of options you could pick. Alright, let's have a look at what we're looking at here. That was a sentence. I think we were right. Yeah, treasures of enormous value would make sense with the crown. Whereas, what were some of the other options like? Books of great cups. I mean, could also make sense, but I feel less likely to. So, we think of light. So, as I say, I'm pretty sure this left-handmost glyph means person, in which case, stranger is the only one of those that has a person in it. Sail, fade, are, endure. This has some of the same things as pilgrims, but it doesn't have water, so I don't think sail would make sense particularly. I mean, you say that, Win, but I'm pretty sure you're the only one who's trying to do innuendo here. He means we because of the all glyph along with people. Oh. Oh, that's actually that's a good point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you see? You're getting your thinking brains on. Yeah, I like that. No, absolutely. I'm loving it, Raven. Like I'm really glad that people are feeling engaged with this, because I was a little worried going into it. I was like, I'm not the only one who's going to be interested in this. My thinking brain is turned off, and that's also fine, Teddy. I also do want this to just be a nice chill stream if you don't feel like jumping in on this. So by that same logic, we've got same thing for all. Raven has the brain cell. My question is, what's the difference between eternity and forever? I feel like if we're right about all, one of these two makes the most sense. Someone stole my last brain cell. Oh no. Did you report it? Okay, let's see if we can make a sentence, and that might inform whether we need eternity or forever. So, of light, we... Let's just see. Whoops. Okay, this has got water in it. And it seems to have a bit of wavy stuff like in Pilgrims. I'm going to guess rivers for this. I think that would make sense. Rivers of light, we... Okay, if that's rivers... I'm going to guess on rivers of light. On rivers of light, we... See, I feel like sail would then make sense. But... Again, there's no water symbol on this, so it seems unlikely that it would be sail. We are eternity. On rivers of light, we are eternity. I don't know, endure forever is where I'm leaning with this. Hey everyone, welcome in. We are playing Heaven's Vault, which is a really interesting and complex game about finding fragments of text from ancient civilizations and trying to translate them, while also trying to track down a missing person and figure out what the hell is going on in history. And it's really cool. Especially with pilgrims traditionally associated with suffering. I guess they are associated with suffering, come to think of it, huh? So, on rivers of light, we endure forever. That is a sentence. I think. Tend to go sail for the poetry. I mean, yeah, sail would definitely match for the poetry, but I feel like sail would have to have water in it somewhere, surely. I've never seen history. I mean, you know, that's fair. In any case, it doesn't matter, as I say, if this is wrong, eventually we'll come across a word and be like, oh, okay, that's surely can't mean rivers then. In which case, we'll come back and try and retranslate this and figure out what it actually is. It's, yeah, go back to endure. I guess it could be we sail nebula, might be too literal. Also possible. And yeah, Matt, it's like... Hang on, let's have a look at... Wait, that's not how that works. Ignore me. Rivers of Babylon is real, yeah. I mean, yeah, you do have a point. It's like, sail may not need water, but at the same time, I think that might be a bit metagamey, but I feel like the developers would not make it so that the word sail doesn't have anything to do with water. That's fine, Miwan. Thank you very much for dropping in and lurking. Good luck with your assignments. I'm sure you're gonna crush them. Sail is a movement action, as is follow. Oops. Okay, I didn't mean to confirm that, but okay, we'll go. That will do for now. That you're right on the money there, Elia. Found an ancient crown. Is this crown what Mayari wanted us to find? Is this why she sent us out here looking? Remba too, perhaps? Mistress? I will have to tell her, mistress. Her motives hardly matter. Or do they? A workbench? Whoever lived here would have needed to be self-sufficient. Then they would have needed water, mistress. Anything hiding in the shadows? Certainly there is. Oh, is it full of ghosts? If there's ghosts, you have to tell me.
After the dead air of the house,
My
it
water
was
is
good to see the sky again.
You have acquired one promising artifact here, the crown. It would seem this site was connected to somewhere else. I suggest we take the crown to Professor Mayari directly. We must also inform her of our theories about Renba. May I activate the hopper now, mistress? Not just yet, because I want to go investigate that thing over there. There must be more to this place. I want to know who lived here, who died here, and what happened to Renba. There's an inscription on this rock. Who is Mayari for context? Ah, yeah. So Mayari is... Hang on. This is the end of a longer line of text. Okay, Mayari is... She works at the university and she was our mentor. Or she is our mentor. It's Churiko. Yes, is our mentor. And she's the one who sent us looking for Renba. After Renba sent back a brooch. Do we trust them is a good question. That entirely depends on how you play the game. It definitely seems like... oh my god, Elia. It seems like Elia has some... We are Mayari, remember? I don't remember that, no. I don't remember ever establishing. But yeah, so... Elia seems to have misgivings. But also Elia does seem to have misgivings about pretty much everyone, so it's hard to say. Right, let's have a look here. So we've got water over here. So when you have the text we had last time, there were clearly defined spaces in between. I'm gonna bring this up as well for people who didn't join at the very start. You're right, Ravane. We did tell that lady in the pig village we Mayari, so maybe that's going to be important. Who knows? So the last bit of text we had, the spaces in between were clearly defined, but they aren't clearly defined here. So it's maybe a bit trickier to know where glyphs begin and end. For example, right, so you can see how I can slot than into there. But if that than was before the same shapes here, we wouldn't necessarily know if that was meant to be a than and then a separate word, or if that would all be together. And you have to just try and piece that together. But yeah, so let's see what we can fit in. We can fit in water, we can fit in us, and that's about it. Thankfully, that seems to be correct. You think than is part of another word? Yes, exactly. Okay, so we're pretty good on our guess for water. And for us, hell yeah, well done, guys. You managed to get me not to put in the wrong word of stranger. So now we know water, something, us, something. So, water divides us, gives, I guess. I mean, water gives us orange? Water gives us orange? There's person in there. When water gives us orange, we make orange juice. Right. Just gonna have a look at the last options. Because I feel like the only verb that really makes sense... Because, like, water divides us, water links us, water heals us. They all make sense, but then having another word afterwards... None of these really make sense for that, so I feel like gives is the only one to make sense. Oops. Would life be considered part of the elements thing we're thinking for those outer glyphs? That's what I'm wondering, Tony. Because, again, as you say, we've got potentially element of some description here. Water gives us hope, especially on a desert planet. Water heals us, Orange. It may be water heals us, Orange. You never know for sure. Yeah, I definitely feel like it's one of gives us life or hope. And we don't have any related words that might give us more of a clue. And again, though, Raven, light could also be connected to hope with the first squiggle. Yes, but as we had before, so if you look over at water, it has the same first and last squiggle there. Which I think, and it is also what we theorized for fire, which makes me think it's more of a thing of an element. Also, you do have to bear in mind again, Raven, was this a desert planet at the time this was written? Water gives... I'm leaning more towards life myself. Water gives us life. But again, maybe it'll be hope. We'll find out in 1,000 years when we find another bit of text that has hope on us. All of my theories are based on this. Okay, can we loop around to go through the channel there? I can barely see the rivers above. And yet there's something here. Which makes me wonder, what else is out here waiting to be found? Okay, how do I get over to that bit? Did I just go the long way around to nothing? Mistress, please. We should not linger. If anything were to go wrong out here, we would never be found. Mayari would send another person, I'm sure. Someone would come looking for us. We're out here looking for Yaniki, aren't we? Yaniki is Mayari's friend. Are you? That's a good question. However, there's a carving. Let's check that out. Assuming this was some sort of irrigation ditch, then water gives us life would work in the agricultural context. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point, Raven. And that definitely looks like it was specifically... It looks like it may well have been carved out. That's the thing. Don't drive yourself too crazy with being correct the first time round, Raven. That's all part of this game. It's all about putting what you think makes sense. Okay. Well now. We've got life up here. We've got a slightly different first syllable here. But we have the option of live, which seems pretty reasonable then. I do want to check can I change this one? Because will that change to hope? Or do we always get given the option of live? Oop. I chose this translation for a reason. Let's see if I can remember what it was. Let's just try hope and see if that other one changes to all hope. No, it's still live, which is a little bit metagamey potentially, but I reckon then that gives very good credence to the theory that this is water gives us life. The two squiggles that come first could be turning into a verb. Exactly. I think that is precisely what's happening. And then that would make sense, because as you can see, we've got these two squiggles at the start of give and the start of follow, and those are both verbs. Ugh. I am glad there are at least a few people in chat as excited about this as I am. Because this is fairly esoteric, stuff. How am I going to speedrun if I take so long getting it wrong? Well, if you could just learn the language, Matt. It is consistent. It is something you could theoretically learn. Or you could just memorize which ones should be where, but you'd have to probably play the game first. Okay, so all live. Again? Another here now? All live again. All live here. I feel like none of these make a huge amount of sense, so we might as well plug in again. For now. Does all live again work? A blessing to keep the house safe, perhaps? Builders on Elbereth do that kind of thing. I don't think they know what they mean. A primitive people. Whoa. Whoa now, Six. We come from Albereth. You better... Let me see forever. We'll find it. We'll find some stuff down the line. How do I do that? Can I just go there? Is this channel natural? I don't think it is. Dug out. There must be a wellspring here. A feeble one. One that requires every drop to be used. Water would have run down the channel, right past the house. Imagine having a stream of your own. Not a bad way to live. If you can withstand the soul-crushing loneliness. Okay, well, I was going to investigate this little shrine over here, but... I was saying Elbereth, which is a place in the game when... What are you on about? Soul-crushing loneliness, Pog! Okay, I'm going to investigate the shrine before I investigate that obvious fire we saw. There's another inscription. Sassy Robot is xenophobic. There's quite a bit of xenophobia in this game, to be fair, it seems. Okay. Well, we've got emperors. Seems likely. Forever. And live. Emperors live forever. That definitely sounds like a sentence that might mean it. I think you just misheard me, Win. Emperors live forever. Cool, so we've now confirmed live and forever. Hell yeah. Emperors here. What were emperors doing out here? Praising the sun from the looks of it. A stone pedestal with someone in it. A local goddess? Evidently it is the goddess from Maerzi, Mistress. Mistress, you can recognize her by her hat. Ooh, a hat. Simply fashioned. Not a treasure, a functional item. What can you tell us, I wonder? It's been marked, too. I can barely make the letters out, they're so tiny. Living the vacation. Even emperors need vacations, exactly. Might as well be on the old moon deep in the middle of the cyclones. Right. Holy goddess of water. I mean, that's a nice sentence, but it doesn't seem to fit in here. So we can put in holy. Or that could maybe be goddess, and then maybe that first bit is a longer thing. Goddess of would track, I reckon. Holy, holy of holy. Okay, cool. So we've now confirmed goddess and of. Amazing. So now we just need to figure out then what this was a goddess of. Goddess of idea? I mean, harvest, I guess, would make the most sense. Hell yeah, we're smashing this language shit. We know all about these things that they were talking about. I feel like harvest makes sense. Let's give it a go. Goddess of harvest. The shrine itself is made of stone, but it's not the same stone as the moon itself. Is it as old as the building? The outer structure is certainly, but the stone pillar, no. The buildings here are significantly older than the pillar. How old did you say the pillar was? Mid to late Empire period, Mistress. Moving it to this moon must have been difficult. An important ritual object? Evidently it is significantly more valuable than the goddess we found within. Is the stone from Maerzi? No, Mistress. Definitely not. Someone lived out here. They irrigated the land, prayed. Here, in the eye of the cyclones. Some kind of hermit? Can we take it with us? It's maybe a bit big, but could give. I mean, we got the hopper. Maybe we can teleport. Who knows? Ooh. What's that smell? It's drama, is what it is. By all the moons and waters. It's a ship. I mean, it was a ship. This may be what happened to Ranba. Can we be sure this was Yaniki's ship? No, mistress. But the circumstantial evidence is very strong. Did someone blast it from the sky? Really, mistress? That seems speculative, to say the least. What could do that? Eagles are supposed to breathe fire, aren't they? There are no eagles, mistress, as you well know. Evidently, it exploded on attempting to rise from the surface, mistress. The mangled pieces rained down at high velocity, ricocheted, and buried themselves into the dust. In short, I'm surprised there is anything left. The name is indeed Ranba. Most likely not. It's been torn apart. What could do this? I've never seen anything like it. Blackened. Presumably the ship was still burning as it fell. This was the hull. It must have been an explosion, mistress. This is the end of our trail, then. There is no hope. Yaniki must have been sailing when it fell. He cannot possibly have survived. Light ships don't usually explode. Yaniki must have used an inadvisable propellant to travel. Yaniki is Ranba. His full name was Yaniki Ranba. Return to Iox and inform Professor Mayari, mistress. But wait! There's something under the wood! Seems to have survived the fire. Please, please don't be an arm. It's not an arm. A worn golden coin with 8 sides. Looks like it dates from the earliest Empire period. This must have been aboard Yaniki's ship. Another of his finds. I don't recognize the face. No Emperor I know. There's an inscription on the surface. It's impossibly small. I often confuse arms with coins. Yeah. A number of times I've tried to pay for something and then just wound up like slapping my arm down on the counter. Just take as much as you need. Okay. Worth. And... of? Okay. I can add my translation for worth to my dictionary now. We are absolutely crushing it with these translations though, guys. We've yet to be wrong about a word. Rebecca arms, yeah, right. I mean, I used to have them. A wallet full of mannequin arms. Exactly. Of salt worth. There we go. Of great worth. That would seem likely. Let's give it a go. Why not? Of great worth. I think this comes from the same site as the Scratch telescope and the pen that we discovered on the site of Ranba's cache. Must have been common to travel between the two locations. Is there a way down? There might be more clues down there. I do not believe it would be wise, mistress. Indeed, I believe it would be quite the opposite. You're the one who jumped off a cliff earlier, my dude. Bigly Worthing. Fire here must have burnt up a lot of air. The remaining atmosphere is thin, mistress. Still, I believe the fire was extinguished before it consumed the whole ship. Must have burned for days. You fool, Ranba. I suppose I always assumed we would find Ranba. I assumed... I don't know. Skids, now is not the time. Perhaps you can take the matter up with Ranba in his next life, mistress. So, one thing I should also point out. I don't think it's come up yet. I think, except in a dialogue option that I didn't pick, is the concept of the loop. So this is a world that believes that, essentially, history is going to repeat itself over and over and over and over and over again. Forever. Does 6 have religion? Yes, I believe the religion of the loop. I think all beings basically believe in it in this game. Well, thank you. I'm not even particularly trying to voice act this time, but I appreciate that. This channel comes up from the rock. The wellspring must be down there somewhere. The spring is dead now, mistress, and you are breathing the last air this moon has to offer. Yaniki is not here, mistress. Neither is anyone else. Are you ready to go now, mistress? I still saw a little bit of a hole in the wall that I want to investigate. Hang on. Hold your robot horses. What is a wellspring, anyway? A source, mistress. Nothing more. A source of what? Commonly, water. Also, air. Very well, then. There's nothing we can do here, Six. Nothing at all. Is Robot sus? He's awfully ready to bounce. That's a good question. Is Robot sus? Do you believe he's sus? He's working for Mayari. Is Mayari sus? That's entirely up to the person playing. How that trail began and where it was leading him. Most unclear. He's so grumpy. It'll be dark in there. I mean, it looks like 6 is giving off light. Can we not just... Nope, we cannot go into there, I guess. Okay, do we head back to the ship then? Can we take the statue, set it on fire, use it as a torch? That's probably a bad idea. Can your tracks handle this kind of terrain, 6? Excellently. Whoever designed my tracks appears to have had this kind of ground in mind. Any light in the house? Worth a check. Who did design you? I have no idea, mistress. They did not leave a signature. Seems strange that you don't know. Does it? Who designed your legs? That's a good question. I don't know. But all this uneven ground, they weren't designed for it. Who designed your legs, chat? No way through here. No, it would have once been open enough. If a robot asked me that, I would pull that face too. Let's take another look inside. Ooh. Can we take this light with us? Oh, come on. Also, I did see apparently that looks like a little inscription up here, maybe? Ooh. There's something up here. Need to find out who designed the human back and give them a telling off. A dagger. A little corroded, but beautifully crafted. Or it has been inscribed tiny glyphs, mistress. Precision required for this. My legs were designed by God. I know this because if Satan had designed them, I would have had tread wheels. Imagine being able to pick up one of the multiple lenses, right? Oh, it's going to be dark in there. If only there was a way for us to get some light. Oh, okay. I can add my translation for all to my dictionary now. All right. All people, I guess. I don't think any of those other ones really have anything to do with person. This grouping looks a bit like my translation for we. All people as one? Might make sense, I guess. Boob? All people as boob. Yes. All people ass. I like we've got the two camps here for the translators. We've either got the people trying to... Ooh, this is an interesting linguistic question. I would say possibly one would make the most sense. It also... And then we've got the other camp, which is like, looks like a boob. All people is boob. It's got to be that one. That's it. We got it. It's all people is boob. And I love that both camps are here today. It's important. All people as one. I have a brand, all right. Exactly, we need a balance because, you know, it's important to get all the possible options. I wonder if this door is jammed. Or if it might open. Well, that's handy. Oh, okay. Look at this. Also, look, Six is totally giving off light. He's totally casting light. Are you kidding me? I can't go into the cave, my ass. Detail, it's beautiful. These look like the rivers of Ghost's Wake. Is this where the shrine outside comes from? But no one goes to Ghost's Wake. Is there an inscription? Seems so. Can't have insight without a mention of pangolin genitalia. I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to that pangolin dick. Okay, the only one we can fit in anywhere is Ov. Thankfully, that seems to be enough. So... okay. Interesting. Interesting. Loops, thinks, strengths, stars, home, protection, myself, sun. Well, this one has life potentially in it. This one seems to have light and treasure. I'm leaning stars. Stars of home? Stars of sun. I am big brain. Hell yeah. I mean, it might be. You have to be specific when you say go to the other word, Raven, because there is the delay. So I don't know if I'm looking at the word you mean or not. I feel like stars of home might make the most sense. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but that's my guess. And I guess it could mean the sense of like... because if they're marking a place as well... live in the little hut, look at me. Yeah. Okay. Does stars of home make sense? Oh. I turned the camera, but I thought Six was closing the door on me. Is this where whoever lived here came from? I thought this place was built by people from Myersey. No one comes from Ghost Wake. Not anymore, they don't. But did they? That's the question you gotta ask yourself, Alaya. Six just slowly locks you in and rolls away. I am sorry, Miss Mayari. It seems that we lost Mistress Alaya on a moon in the cyclones. The house has been built right up against the rock face. Must have been cold here. Whoever lived in this place would have kept their fire burning constantly. I wonder what they did for wood. I could slip through here. Are you always this adventurous, mistress? I am finding it quite exhausting. You'll cope somehow. You'll find a way.
In the yard behind the house, there were tools. Plots of earth, washing hung out to dry. It was like the owner had slipped inside for a quick rucker before they came back to chop more wood.
Moon in the cyclones.
Someone had been building a life on this miserable rock.
How can a robot be exhausted? You can run low on power if you're a robot, surely. Surely that's a thing. Big axe might be useful. Bone dry. Are you surprised by that fact? According to legend, the last emperor disappeared after Iox fell. He didn't die there with everyone else. Are you suggesting he came here? Why not? It would explain a few things. Not least that crown. Some kind of marker. Definitely isn't natural. It looks like a grave to me, if I had to guess. There's something here. A necklace. What are these things? Flat beads. Ceramic? I'm not sure. Look like seashells to me. The sticks are all but petrified. Can't even rot out here. There's something cut into it. More texts! More texts! I'm going to... Ooh, excuse me. I'm just going to burp over this grave. Don't mind me. Marker of lashed sticks. Okay. Okay, so we got forever there. So we know it's not forever this time. Never remember. If I had to guess, I would say never forget would make more sense. Yeah, the X might mean a negation. And then if that one is like all time, that would make sense. Because we know that, or we're pretty sure that that is all. So then not time. Second word. I would guess never forget. Because this, I also believe, looks like a grave. And out of these, never return. It depends if this is a reverential grave or not, though. Because if you've got the loop, then if you were to say never return... Ooh. Never rest would be savage, but again, also possible if this is a... although why would you go to the hassle to bury someone you hate? The triangle with banished and return is connected. Yes. And that one was also there for the one we think is home. So it might make sense for that to be a place, in which case return would make sense. Okay, yeah. I'm liking these theories. I'm liking it. Thank you, Jericho, for skids. Never return. This is not something I will ever say to you guys. I hope you always return for more fun and games. I could still change my mind, but never return? This is a grave. It sure is, most likely. Wonder if whoever dug that grave believed in the loop like they do on Iox. The loopists say that to be reborn, a soul must return to the rivers. Burying someone prevents them from coming back. It's the worst thing you can do to your enemies. Ah! Guys! Guys, that makes sense. I don't think we have the option to dig, I'm afraid. Actually, I'm not afraid. I'd rather not dig up someone's grave, to be honest. But that has just... that looks like a pretty much a confirmation of what we believe. Of what we thought that would translate as. So someone died here. And someone else buried them. But not Remba. The wood is far older than that. Garden beds. Something must have been able to grow here once. Though I can't see how. I mean, we've seen the irrigation system, so I mean... Pineapples? Yeah, may well have been pineapples. So who is buried outside then? The hermit who owned this place first, perhaps? Before it was taken from them? I would still bury someone I hated, if only to keep the body from scavengers. That's good of you, Raven. But yeah, now that we know that burying is like quite a severe curse in this culture. So the last emperor killed the hermit who lived here, then the emperor buried them in the dirt. We only know that the emperor outlived them. We do not know there was a murder. The Emperor of Zyox were all devout believers in the loop. To bury someone outside instead of returning them to the rivers to be reborn. That's what you do to your worst enemy. If the emperor was hiding here, perhaps he did not want anyone returning to find him. I'm coming back, Six. Murder. You found a grave, mistress? How did you know? I mean, we did say it outside. You insist on talking to yourself, mistress. I assume it has been some time since your last robot. I will wait for you down here, mistress. I cannot climb stairs.
Crime.
Whoop! Something happened there. Cat crime. To be fair, I should probably also put the Hat in Time murder on there, but we have time for that yet. Hardly comfortable. If the Emperor really lived here, then it wasn't just the Empire that fell. So many more lanterns. Murder. Oh, there's an inscription on the bed. It's old, barely visible. Scratched into the plaster. I've not encountered any of these words anywhere else. Boop. I just... God damn it. Bed of sex. Well, doesn't seem to be a possible option, I'm afraid, Churiko, but we value the input. This is where the magic happens. Okay. Yeah, let's start with this. Thank you, Tony. Yes, our would make sense given what we've... Actually, I think maybe I, because this is the symbol we had for a lot of number of them. We have the four strikes there to signify many, and that one's not in this one, but it's otherwise identical. I think this one might be I. We got the thing for live. We've got not. We've got a bit of goddess, kinda. This is all very tenuous, though. It's a verb, potentially, judging by the start of it. This one involves... This looks to me like it has not to live. Thank you for the cat crime win. I feel like I've been missing things people have been saying. I think I have to thank Tony for a boop. I fear death would make sense. Person next and live is death vibes, exactly, yeah. And then, yeah, I fear death. Opposite of live. Yes, that would make sense. And otherwise we've got I open death, and that doesn't really make any sense. Sleep is just dying, being shy, and all that. That will do for now. The writer was dying. The angle is interesting too. Scratched by someone lying down. And that would make sense if they were on their deathbeds. And hook could be denoting a deity type thing, like death. Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be like some kind of a spiritual marker, perhaps. Why build something as big as this out here? Who is it for? Can we open this door? Oh, no, that goes outside, which we saw is all kinds of blocked up. Oh, why are you a liar? Please don't go that way. Okay. I mean, we could just hop back over here maybe and abandon 6. No, we can't. Okay. Fine. We won't abandon 6 right now. Let's see what's up here. I'm sure there's no danger to climbing up the rapidly crumbling house, huh? Ruin and rubble. What's this? It's quite different than the rest of the building. Some kind of telescope? But the position and the bearings are fixed. The material on this is totally wrong. Is it metal? Rubber? Looks like something Aroi might have built. I must remember to ask her about it. And there are scratches in the top here. Something fitted inside the frame and was removed by force. Did you take something, Yaniki? But if so, what was this stand meant to hold? Aroi is someone we've not met yet. I think I remember who they are, but don't worry, we're not meant to know who they are yet. This is someone that Alaya knows, but that we haven't met yet. Gun mount? Binoculars? I would lean more binoculars, but who knows? Oh. There's something wedged here. A torn book covered in minute computations. I think it dates from the Ioxian Empire? There's something drawn along the spine. If it's a magnifying glass or device, that might explain why Yannick took it. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay. Pilgrim fits there. Death fits there. Cool. Translation death doesn't feel right now. Oh no! Okay, so we were wrong about death, though. Hopefully I can make some better guesses this time. So, these just resemble my word for again. So, we do now know that this isn't death, though. But that's fine. That's all part of the game. Sometimes you're just going to get them wrong. I guess the only thing here that particularly slots in would be and. And that would make sense because we think that first one might be about time. So then this is maybe like a plus. Pilgrim and Stranger. Yes, I'm liking that because there's negativity of... There's like negativity with life there. And there doesn't seem to be anything suggesting, as Tony said before, the religious aspect. So Pilgrim and Stranger, maybe? Pilgrim and Stranger. I think that's correct. If only we could read the whole volume. I'd say this comes from the moon depicted in the Hermitage wall mural. To make its location easier to locate. That doesn't scan as a sentence too well, but, you know, that's fine. Yeah, that would also make sense, because then the sentence would be, I fear the stranger, which might make sense if that person was dying and then some other person turned up. Or they started dying because that other person turned up. I don't know. Who's to say? Can we go through here? I suspect not. We can't. That's fine. That's probably a wise decision on Elia's part, all things considered. Just don't look down, Elia. Stranger could be a name for a god, like in A Song of Ice and Fire. Could be, although I think it didn't have the symbol of religion or anything in it. That we, assuming our theory is correct. That woman has the greatest memory of all time. How does she remember all the symbols? She must. I guess she just studied it. I mean, like, there's plenty of alphabet or like writing systems currently that use a lot of symbols, and people work fine with them. I think she's just knows it, but she also doesn't know it like fluently, because as we've seen, all of these are sort of educated guesses. Ah, the wonders of ancient linguistics. This is a comfortable space. Wide, open, old, mistress. It sure is. You're such an optimist, you are, Six. Can't get enough of your upbeat attitude. You've collected 3 more intriguing artifacts here. Also, we have pinpointed 1 new location of interest, the site from the mural. We have also found evidence of 1 new location, an unknown moon. Are you ready to go yet, mistress? Well, we didn't find any light sources. So yeah, let's bounce. This game is Kanji Learning Simulator. It's kind of like that, except for the fact that it's all a language that is fictional to the game. Go back to town and buy a goddamn flashlight. Oh. Okay.
Darkness.
This is not the Nightingale. 6? I hate robots. I hate them! They always do this kind of thing. Right before they give you the speech about how it was for your own good. Mistress, you're about to step on a small ant. My ethical code required me to lock you inside this packing crate. It's cold in here. Oh. There you are. Where's your head? Mayari. What about Mayari? You followed me, Lexi. As I thought you might. Because you knew. Because you've always known. Six? Is someone calling? There is no one here. You are quite alone. You might confess your lie quite safely. What lie? You are not what you claim. I know this, Mayari. You asked me to look and I found so much. And who do you say I am? You say you are the highest of the high. She who knows the people, but you are nothing. I know it. Am I talking to Renba? There isn't time. I found something. Something that matters more than your lies. Lexi, there is a great darkness. An all-consuming, hungry darkness. And it is coming. How are you doing this, Yaniki? How are you talking to me? I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're dead. There is an ancient place, Mayari. An observatory. It is watching, and it holds the wires of our fate in its claws. Tell me what you know. I will find it before the vault is lost. The robots know, but they don't remember. Someone long ago made certain they would not remember. Remember, how do I help you? No. You'd have my apologies, mistress? I do not understand the question. 6? Yes, mistress? I observe we are not back on the Nightingale. There must be something wrong with the hopper. I will look into it. This way, mistress. You don't remember how we ended up in here? Hoppers can misfire due to imperfections, mistress. The eye aboard your ship is quite old. I still don't see how we got in there. 6, do you know anything about an observatory? No, mistress. Nothing comes to mind. Why do you ask? No reason. Just a passing thought. Well now. That was a whole bunch of questions. This is why we need a flashlight. I think that's precisely why we couldn't find a flashlight, because all of that had to happen. There was a tripod up on the roof. Empty now. But it looks like it might have held something once. What kind of something? I would guess a telescope. A telescope. This must have been some kind of outpost observatory. An interesting theory, mistress. But I cannot imagine what they wanted to observe. Are you implying this is all scripted? Who's to say? Depends on what you believe the loop does. Does the loop script everything? Man, though. Now, though, the question is, do we trust Mayari? Because there was clearly some shit going on there. Oh, evidently the building is at least 700 years old. How do you work that out? I have been observing the rate of weathering on the stones, mistress. Extrapolating, this building is older than the founding of the Holy Empire on Iox. You know, 6, back on Iox, They say nothing is older than the Empire. That the Empire and the Fall are all that has ever been. If Iox does not believe in history, what is it they think you do? Iox believes in the loop. They believe what has happened will happen again. They think I'm out discovering the future. 6. What do you know about the Loop Temple? I know little of the Loop Mistress. The Loop Priests claim that life is a great cycle. They believe that all that happens has happened before. And will happen again. Indeed, Mistress. Past is future, and future past. Is it true? The probability of it is incalculable, Mistress. There is no meaningful data. We've seen enough of this damn moon. Let's actually leave this time, huh? As you wish, Mistress. Be ready, Mistress. Hey, I gave all my brain cells to Chirk. Yeah, 6 does seem to have some brain cells. But so does Alaya. Enough information to locate a previously unknown site. Wait, what? I don't have any brain cells? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, did Jericho lose the brain cells? Ah, well. It's a Sunday. You don't need brain cells on a Sunday. As it was written in the Bible. We should sail to Iox and tell Mayari what we've seen, and I'm sure she wants to see the crown. Oh, I'm sure she does. Told you we should have put them under the mattress. Just look at this thing. It's heavy. Whoever wore this had a strong neck. Evidently is more than a simple crown, Mistress. You're sure? I believe the metal is a casement for a mechanism of some kind. A mechanism? What kind of mechanism? Without opening it up, I cannot tell. My friend Oroi on Elbereth might be able to help. She'd be able to open it up and take a look at it safely. The occupants of Elbereth are hardly trustworthy. I'm from Elbereth. I will bear that in mind. Oh, okay. You wanna say something, 6, huh? You wanna bring something up right now? Bud? Oh man, we've got a whole bunch of things just hanging out around and about. It's beautiful enough. That doesn't explain what Rembo was doing with it. Ooh. Oh, I thought we were looking at the lantern. I was like, oh, can we get a... can we get a light source now? Still don't know what it's made of. This robot has some fucking opinions, huh? He really does. What is your problem, 6? Oh, don't you give me that face. Yeah, that's what I thought, asshole. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it there for today. I've had a really fun time. Posture check 6. Ugh. I think we can allow the word fucker through Automod, don't you worry about it. Okay. There we go. I forgot to add the microphone source on this screen. It's funny. This was like I only made the decision to do this stream like an hour before I actually streamed, and all of that hour was just because I was setting up creating these scenes. Because I was like, this is just gonna be a quick little whatever thing. But I did still go to the effort to go and try and translate these goddamn intermission screens properly. Anyway, let's check out who might be streaming on Twitch that we might want to raid. Oh hell yeah, Rob started. Let's go and raid Rob. Thank you all very much for coming by today's stream. I don't know if... What do you guys think? Do you want to see more of this game, or should we keep it around for just, like, when I'm feeling a bit more chill? I don't know. Let me know what you all think. Betimes. I'm not gonna raid Fat Bad. I don't believe they're doing anything. It's super cool, right? Okay, maybe there'll be some more of these streams in the future then. Cool, okay. I'm definitely down for that. It's Classic Rob. Yes, got it right. Game kinda cool. Oh no, Raven, absolutely don't worry about it. Like, my main thing about backseating is like people saying, "Oh, you've done this wrong. You should be doing it this way." And it's like, it doesn't really matter. I'm really genuinely super pleased that you and other people are getting really like into the translation bit. I definitely love that. It makes me feel good that I've picked a game that people are interested in seeing. But yeah, so cool. Yeah, I reckon probably more of this to come then. Maybe this will be the weekend game. In any case, I'll probably be back tomorrow with Celeste. We'll see. We got a dad joke. Put the cat out. I didn't realize it was on fire. Boo! And that's the energy we're going to be taking over to Rob's stream right now. Thank you all very much for joining me, and yeah, see you all for future streams. Bye-bye.